Hi, my name is Rex. I had a lot of objectives. I wanted to improve my balance. I wanted to improve my flexibility and elasticity. I wanted to improve strength and endurance, and I wanted to increase the size of my muscles and improve muscle tone. So I brought a laundry list of pre-existing conditions, if you will, with me that I thought might be challenges for a coach to work with. And these included I am HIV positive and have been since 1989. I have more than one heart condition, and I've had 7 procedures to correct them since 2010. I suffer from an enlarged prostate. I also have back pain and neck pain that are the result of 2 injuries. I suffered one in high school and one in early college. And periodically those turn into localized, isolated problems in some part of my spine and musculature. I was really scared of those things and wasn't sure that an exercise program would be able to deal with that appropriately. Well, the results have been startling. I simply could not have expected that things would work out as well as they have in such a short time. I've been working with Tristan for 3.5 years, but by the time we'd gotten through with basically the first year, I could see big differences. I could bend over more easily. I could put my palms flat on the floor for the first time in decades from a standing position. I could sit on the floor and reach my fingertips way past the end of my feet. My elasticity and flexibility were considerably better than they were before we started. I also had a lot more physical endurance. We had worked on warming up on a treadmill, and I went from just barely able to make 2 or 3 minutes to routinely doing more than 20. My ability to walk longer distances is astonishing. It's utterly new experience for me, especially since I started having trouble with the heart conditions I mentioned earlier. This has clearly improved my overall sense of well-being, flexibility, elasticity, endurance, muscular strength. I can easily lift much heavier items without fear of putting my back out. I can reach way up to the top shelf at the supermarket and pick up a case of soda, because that's where they hide the shrink-wrapped ones, and lower it down with confidence and put it in my shopping cart. This would have been absolutely unthinkable before I started working with Tristan. And along the way, I've had a number of specialized problems. So is my partner that I work out with. It's really remarkable when you have a specific issue with your lower back, or if you have a frozen shoulder, or if you are finding yourself in the midst of a sudden bout of sciatica. He knows exactly what's happening, and he knows how to adjust the workout routine so that it specifically addresses those issues while continuing to keep you on the momentum that you were achieving with improving the other things in your list of objectives. The best part of working with Tristan as a holistic coach, as opposed to just any physical trainer, was he made it completely clear how a whole lot of factors come into play and interrelate when it comes to your personal fitness and well-being. And among those factors are things like what you eat and how much water you drink and how much sleep you get, and whether it's all in one continuous blast or not, and what time of day you have your meals, how much moving around you do in terms of just general basic walking around. The most important thing I think that I found from working with Tristan, as opposed to working with anybody else, he has an extraordinary grasp of how all of this fits together. And he's able to help you focus on the connectedness of it all. Changing my diet was not a thing. Changing my water intake was not a thing. Changing my life was the thing. And suddenly all of those elements took on a different perspective. No matter what your age, whether you're young or advancing in years like I am, start now and understand that you are going to make a big difference in what your life is like 10 years down the road, or 20 or 30. For me, being a little way past 60, thinking about what I will be like when I'm a little way past 70 is kind of a shocking thing to ponder because I've always thought of 70 as old. And now all of a sudden I'm approaching that, and I don't think it's quite as old as I imagined, but I do think that it represents frailty. I do think it represents disability. I think it represents risk of injury and falling and never coming back from the hospital. And I don't fear that anymore, because I know that I'm taking an active, aggressive, purposeful approach to preparing my body to handle anything unexpected. So if I start to fall, I can twist around. I can catch myself. I can prevent myself from hitting the ground as hard as I would if I had not been doing this. That's the takeaway. What you do now is going to have a big impact 10 years from now. It's just really irreplaceable. And it is worth every second you spend on it and every dollar.